bad, things could only get better.
What's your status on the apparatus, everybody? Puncho, DK, Cancel Kings, and our panel is online, ready to talk about, I guess they're calling it Twerk Gate, DK, and Megan Thee Stallion performing at the Kamala Harris rally in Atlanta, Georgia, in addition to Quavo having some words too. But I guess the question is, what does this saying about our culture when we have our political figures that are kind of, enlisting the help of folks like this? So that being said, gents and germs, we are in overtime. So yeah, have you seen this whole thing, DK? The whole Twerk Gate thing? I know you probably seen it a few times.
Oh man, here you go. I seen a little bit of it, you know what I mean? But hey, I see what they got going on. It's always something going on. But both parties, do this. So let's see. Let's check it out.
Well, we're gonna show the video, and we're gonna look at some responses from Twitter and Black Twitter, and we're gonna throw it to the panel and ask some questions about how does this reflect, the Christian community, Black men as Christians, men in general, the family. Is this something that she can't recover from, or is this just the flavor of the week? So that being said, let's take a look at some of the statements that have been made, and also the video itself. So let's jump right in here.
We want y'all to vote for Kamala, Black people.
So this conversation right now is a big deal, specifically amongst Black women who are political. They're realizing there's a very obvious divide between women who think this is okay.
Now you can see her getting it in over here. And it's like, this is a representation of the best way to reach Black people. The best way perhaps to even reach the Democratic or the liberal voter. Some would say that this is a way to kind of touch and connect with the young folks. But at the end of the day, is it going to be enough? Or is it too much? Again, they're calling it Twerk Gate. Let's continue with the video.
Twerking at a presidential rally, and Black women who think that it's not.
Megan, baby, come here. I love Meg Thee Stallion. Do not get me wrong, y'all. I love Meg. But what just happened, honestly? Because it was it was weird. It just, honestly, it wasn't cohesive. I don't know. Am I being a hater? I am a hottie. I love Meg Thee Stallion. But I just thought that it was so awkward because, I feel like she had to be G-rated for this event. So it just seemed like really random. I don't know. What do y'all think?
When you hear that, and also, folks, if you want to chime in, we are live. You can leave your comments below. We will read those. But when you hear this commentary, when you've seen the actual, parts of the presentation that she gave, what comes across your mind, DK? And then we'll pass it on to some of the guys in the panel.
I think it's unnecessary, but at the end of the day, I think people in general, both parties do anything for votes. You know what I mean? So whether someone twerking or someone talking crazy or, Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt off, you know what I mean? People do, whatever for votes. And to me, just the bottom line is, regardless if you're a Democrat or Republican, is that, we should be voting on the policies, not on the, celebrities. You know what I mean? So, who's the best celebrity that comes? You know what I mean? It should be on what are the policies? What do they stand for? If you stand for twerking, okay. Does that help me in my daily life?
So
maybe
Rob,
it helps you. Maybe it helps you.
Yeah. So Rob, you're kind of down the middle on a lot of this stuff. My question for you would be, Do you feel like this helps Kamala Harris? Do you feel like this gets you more interested in her policy?
This had nothing to do with policy. It has to do with integrity as a human being, as a candidate.
Oh,
If
wow.
that's what your platform is, then that's what your platform is. If that's what you want to work with, that's what you want to work with. The thing is, when you enlist this type of energy, that's what you're going to get. And by energy, I mean when you have these people that do these things like that and support you, and come out and support you, that's what you're going to get from them. I wouldn't put them on stage. I'll keep them in the background. You can support me from afar. I'm not going to put you in the front.
Yeah, put them in an ad or something where they're, a quick montage of her, Quavo, and whoever else supports this kind of, thinking. Go ahead, DK.
Yeah, no, real quick, when Rob was saying that, I was just thinking about, I think Malcolm X said this a long time ago, right? And maybe we'll pull up the interview. But what he said was, and I'm just paraphrasing, that in all other cultures, right? When you look at like leaders of the culture,
I
right?
saw
Like
that
people,
clip.
you're looking for leaders. Like you don't have celebrities, you don't have entertainers and singers and comedians, right? You don't have those type of things come to represent you. But for some reason, us as a Black culture, when we think about our leaders, we look at our entertainers. You know what I mean? We look at those singers, those comedians, those athletes, right? But those are not necessarily they shouldn't be our leaders, and they're not in any other not country, but in any other culture. You don't have those leaders. I mean, you never see the white comedian per se leading the culture for the white community, saying, hey, this is our leader. And I mean, maybe you could say Donald Trump because whatever, he had a TV show, but he was more of a businessman than all of that. But besides him, that might be the only one that you can name. But every time when it comes to getting our Black vote, the people who are promoting it, or they're promoting it as our leaders, besides the ones who are running for office, they're all, our entertainers. They're not our lawyers. They're not our educated people. They're not our, and it's just ignorant. You know what I mean? It's just ignorant that, that we have to, do that. But it's been set up like that for so long. You figure, I mean, back in Malcolm's day, they was doing the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I remember
Malcolm
him
was
saying like trumpet players represent the Black community. I'm like, but we ain't got no trumpet players. Winston Marsalis ain't representing nothing. But I guess Megan is the new Winston from what Malcolm was talking about. Passing the same question over to Blue Vix. What are your thoughts on this? You tend to lean a little bit more in a different direction. What is your opinion about this whole thing? Blue Vix is has been taken out of the game. Let's listen to a little bit more of this, guys.
I love Black people.
So this conversation right now is a big deal, specifically amongst Black women who are political. They're realizing there's a very obvious divide between women who think this is okay, twerking at a presidential rally, and Black women who think that it's not.
Megan, baby, come here. I love Meg Thee Stallion. Do not get me wrong, y'all. I love Meg. But what just happened, honestly? Because it was it was weird. It just, honestly, it wasn't cohesive. I don't know. Am I being a hater? I am a hottie. I love Meg Thee Stallion. But I just thought that it was so awkward because, I feel like she had to be G-rated for this event. So it just seemed like really random. I don't know. What do y'all think? Do you think that
rally?
Man, that's my girl, and I'm always stand on business when it comes to her. Girl, you was on that presidential stage twerking.
Megan, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. That wasn't it, my sister. And I love you. It's no beef between us. When I tell you this out of love. Like, that wasn't it, my love.
We don't talk about Bruno, no. But we gonna talk about it. Let's get into it. T Monet, I love you and I respect you, okay? Hopefully I won't lose you as a a TikTok friend and follower or anybody else after the things that I'm about to say. Okay. It is what it is. I'm very old school.
It seemed like she's so afraid to just say what she got to say. Is this what it's come to? You got afraid to just share your opinion? And Corey, we'll get your opinion on this next.
And if you've been following me for a minute, you know that I'm the same person who lost followers because I say I have a problem with people, Black women in particular, going outside with a bonnet on their head. Okay. I'm also the same person who lost followers because I feel there should be a dress code in school, that young girls should not be coming to school looking like they work on a pole. I'm that person. So for me, respectability, respect politics, all of those things matter.
Did you guys notice how she was a bit hesitant to share her opinion on this particular
same thing I noticed. When you hear all that, Corey, what are your thoughts? Or is this just a big, nothing burger right here?
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm. Loud and clear.
I agree. It's not good for the culture. But unfortunately, our culture is being led by, I'd call it just shenanigans, right? The loudest voice in the room gets all the attention. And unfortunately, that loud voice it doesn't shine a good light on Black people as a whole. So that whole thing, with Megan twerking and all of that stuff, I get the reason why she did it, right? And it's not a good reason. Like you're pandering basically, and you're trying to get an in to the younger crowd, and they may look at it and find some kind of solace in it. But to the older generation and the people that can see through it, and the ones that are actually, wanting to know what your policies are and what you're actually going to do for the community, and how are you going to be different from Biden, or how are you going to be different from Trump.
Perfect.
That's not helping your message at all. That's not helping your image. That's not. It's just not a good look.
Now, I want to ask a follow-up question for you there, Corey. And no shame if you don't have an answer for this, but do you know her policies right now?
Do I know all of her policies?
Just give me two.
For sure, I know I saw some stuff. She said she wants to do some things on like prison reform, and she's basically adopting all of Biden's policies. At least I haven't seen her disavow or push anything away from
So
what
kind of
Biden.
a continuation of the Biden administration.
Yeah, basically continuing that.
And real quick, what's weird about that? So yeah, I heard that too. With her prison reform and all of that. But when she was in California as the AG, she wasn't with none of that. You know what I mean? It's like I feel like she's just changing her positions to fit better with the Democratic Party. Because to be honest, the crazy part is like she probably is more moderate, right?
You think so?
No, I'm saying that she would. Her policies naturally are more moderate, but she's a puppet, so she's going to do what has to be done. I mean, think about it. She was tough on crime, right? Most conservatives are tough on crime. She was definitely that. Now, of course, there was other things that she was very liberal on when we go to the gay marriages and stuff like that. But when it came to crime, she definitely was tough on crime.
That's true.
What I mean? Probably too tough. You know what I mean?
Then she did a whole 180, it seemed, and now she's like letting people. She was paying for people who were protesting. They were paying for their bail, and those people are going back on the streets and committing murders and all kind of crazy crimes.
Right, and I don't want to.
I don't want to go too far down that road. Yeah.
No, but I do want to. Someone had a comment. The white comedian runs Ukraine. Yeah, and that's true. I'm
He's
saying
talking about the president of Ukraine, Zelensky.
Yes.
Okay.
And I didn't know he was a comedian, but it's cool.
Yeah, I think he's a comedian.
But what I'm saying is though, but for the most part though, when you look at leaders of a particular culture, is naturally it wasn't the entertainers. You know what I mean? Ukraine's one. Like I said, you can say Trump's one, but besides that, I mean, Reagan, definitely was a movie star,
I remember
but he
Stephen
was more
Colbert was getting ready to go for president, and they had to pull him off the ledge because they were afraid he may pull some votes away from legitimate candidates, and
right,
also Kanye running for president. You know,
right. And see, but that's crazy. Sometimes when I'm talking about leaders of our communities, I'm talking about not even those who are running for office. You know what I mean? I'm talking about even those who are just who represent us. You know what I mean? Why do we have to pick the entertainers to even represent like who we are? You know what I
yeah.
mean? What happened to the pastors? What happened to the Martin Luther Kings, the Malcolm X? You know what I mean? Like these people being leaders. We don't seem like we have whenever something goes on in one bowl, he always there now. You look at he took Al Sharpton's place. What's the bull every time something when they suing somebody, he always there.
The black lawyer, I think you're talking about.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
and I always say we have to make a decision, especially as people of color and Christians and things of that nature in the black
Mhm.
community. Do we want our community to be ran by studs and thugs, or do we
Mm.
want our community to be ran like scholars and squares, like every other functioning community in the world? It seems like we just cannot let go of our fascination with the entertainers, athletes, and buffoons and comedians as being the voice and the center of gravity for our
Mm.
community. And I don't know why we do this. Maybe because it's just a lack of education, maybe it's ignorance. But every other functioning community in the world has scholars and squares. They look up to those people. They aspire to that. Not
Well,
us.
think about it. I mean, you mean just look at our school districts. You know what I mean? I don't know about where you're at, but I know that the football coach gets paid more than the teachers. You know
Wow.
what I mean? So I'm saying so we're already putting a bigger emphasis from the door, you know what I mean, of hey, sports is more important than education. And
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying that the football coaches don't deserve that, but what I'm saying, but it sets a precedent, oh, that hey, this is more important. And then as we, get up now, whoever's the president of Harvard, I don't know how much they make, but I'm sure they probably don't make much as Jordan Love, who just got the highest contract in NFL.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But that's how it
Yeah.
works.
Well, I
I'm
want
saying
to.
for a job, not even for a business. One thing, you got a business and you grow it
Hmm.
and you're good or you're selling records, but I'm talking about a football player has a job. So you're saying that hey,
Entertainers and
this,
athletes have a bigger voice. Yeah.
yeah, it's more important.
Well, I want to move to our second topic of the four. The second one is, how does Twerk Gate affect how we see political leaders? Um, this acceptance and this co-opting of this kind of culture and putting this into a political rally. How does this affect your perspective of Kamala Harris? How does this affect your perspective of the Democratic Party? And I'm going to turn it to Robert and then back to Blue Vix and Corey. You can clean up. If you guys have questions, feel free to just type in the questions and we'll get them. I don't think we can see them if you are on our private pages, but if you go to YouTube or Cancel Kings on Facebook, those questions will appear and we can tackle those as they come up. But throwing it to Robert, the question goes to you. How does this affect your idea of Kamala Harris and maybe other people that see this as a good idea?
My idea of her is what it is. Having her use the twerk gate, it's to me it makes her look bad. It makes the Democrats look bad also. What I think is going to happen, I think Megan Thee Stallion is going to be put on the back burner.
Of course.
Yeah, she's gonna be put on the back burner, and if her fans are paying attention, they might get a little bit of outrage, but they should understand. But get back to entertainers. During Obama campaign, he had this song called "Yes We Can." That was powerful.
No, nobody wants to hear old Negro spirituals anymore, Robert. They want to see, Quavo shoot the club up, pause, and they want
Well,
to see some
if
other
if
crazy
if
stuff go on.
if that's what Kamala Harris and the Democrats want to do, then you can count me out because I ain't for it.
Hmm.
Give me something that's positive, something that can get me up in the morning, that can help me out. I don't want to see nobody twerking.
Sometimes it's too early for a twerk. Blue Vix, passing the same question on to you. How does this affect your vision of a political leader? of political leaders.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Make sure you're mute the broadcast. And you're getting feedback.
Okay. I'm not sure how or what to do about that. That's the case.
Now.
You're good now.
All right. So either way, I think Rob could have ended your show in the first 5 minutes with his initial comments. It's a done deal. Two, just from an observation point, I think some attention is better than no attention, and maybe a subculture will lean into that when it's a comedian or an entertainer. And I think Corey, unfortunately, unintentionally backed up my prior positions and the position I still keep today to answer your fundamental question right now at this point. How does it affect my view on her policies and moving forward? I still don't know what they are. So if you're uneducated, uninformed, and just want some attention, that twerking is going to work for you as a voter. But if you really want to see a policy, hear a policy, it's still lacking. It's not there.
Yeah, Punch, I think you're muted, but oh yeah, I think he's muted. I don't know if he understands.
Well, it's so interesting because we're getting so close to the election, and we still haven't seen any clear policy. I did listen to her speech at Atlanta, and it was more along the lines of we need more diversity, we need to be more inclusive, and we need more child deletions. Sorry. That's what I got from. I'm gonna mute you, Blue Vix, because you got some feedback. Same question for Corey, and then Brad. How does this affect how you see political leaders, Corey, or is it's just nothing to worry about?
I mean, it kind of goes back to what I just said. At currently where we stand, I mean, we all don't really know what her policies are. And we are getting closer, right? We're less than 100 days away from the election, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that Trump agreed to a debate, so we might get something out of that. But that shouldn't be the only platform that we're relying on to hear what she has to say, right? That should come out in some type of medium, be it, she does like a press conference or some type of sit down with a large major network and kind of just talks about what's on her mind, or you got to get that message out to your voters.
Mm-hmm.
As far as the twerking and stuff, again, like I said, that speaks to a specific demographic, but that does nothing in the grand scheme for her benefit. And whoever her campaign manager is that pitched that idea and she signed off on it, you need to get rid of that person. You should probably reach out to whoever Obama's campaign manager was, because I couldn't imagine him signing off on something like that when he was running.
Sound like she ain't got a plan to me, man.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan?
Stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks. And granted, right, she's got a lot of momentum right now. There's a lot of money coming into the party. But that's going to be short-lived. That steam is going to run out within maybe 30 to 40 days. And then what do you have after that point?
Yeah.
So,
well, picking up on that, a lot of folks are starting to be a little bit cautious, and they're saying that this is just a sugar rush that we're going through with Kamala Harris. She's never won anything as far as when it comes to her presidential bid previously. And she was not really liked back then. I don't think she even won a state back when she was running for president on the Democrat side. And it's like, is this just a sugar rush? Can she give us some substance? But I think it is a bit of I try not to get too polarized, but I think it is a bit of a backhand to say that I'm not going to give you policy on what you need to do as a people, what I'm going to do for you as a people, not just blacks, but everybody. But I'm gonna put somebody up here and twerk, and I'm gonna have Quavo, who shoots up people all the time in his rap, talk about gun reform and all this stuff. What are we talking about here?
Well, think about it. So for her, I mean, I'm surprised. I didn't know that Trump agreed on a debate. Do you know where it's going to be at? What channel?
Well, there's the debate at the National Association of Black Journalists. According to Trump, I don't know if he was being forthright.
I'm saying, but hold on real quick before we go there. I'm talking about a debate with him and Kamala.
I've heard that he's backed out from last time.
He's in it. I believe he tweeted it. The debate is going to be
Fox
he
News.
wants it to be with Fox News.
Yeah, he didn't want CNN again. Yeah, or
and then
ABC.
he wants the audience to be there, but all the other rules that Biden had in place for the first one, he's okay with that.
Okay, no, that's good. I'm if they do that on Fox, I think that would be fair. Only because he did do the first one on C. No, I'm saying he did the first one on CNN. I just think that it would be good.
So our next question is, we're going to talk a little bit about how does the African American community see Twerk Gate? That name is so corny, but we're going to pull up some comments here from a previous video and just look at some comments and then see how that synthesizes with what we are also discovering here, guys. You can see one of the comments here that says Kamala Harris showed Black people what she thought of us. Pay attention. 213 likes. This is what you were just talking about, DK. Malcolm X talked about this 70 years ago. He talked about how we're political chumps and how entertainers are just puppets used to be a distraction. Nothing has changed. Very interesting. These are the same women crying about the poor state of the economy. The same people that made her a millionaire are the same people complaining. Very interesting. These are comments from the video we showed earlier. For our people are destroyed due to a lack of knowledge. He's pulling some scripture out on that one. So don't get back to the panel. It seems like you guys have kind of given your opinion, but do you think it's too late for our culture to kind of really have a moral high ground because we've let this happen for so long, guys?
I don't know about that, but what I do know, and I'll be short with this, is that to her, if I'm her, I'm not debating, I'm not giving any policies, I'm not doing anything, because right now, what the Democrat Party is trying to do is just grab the vote because who she is or who she represents. She has two minorities. She's a woman, and it says she's Black. Right, so she's a woman, and she's Black, and she has a Democratic Party. And let's just see if we can win with that, because we couldn't win with Biden. But hey, forget the policies, forget everything else. If we can just get all the Democrats to vote for me without knowing what I think, if we can get all the women voting for me, not knowing how I'm going to treat them, we can get all the Black people voting for me, no matter what I'm going to do to them, or
DK,
what I have done to them.
That's a politician's dream, to be able to get into office backed by your lobbyists and your special interests, and the people have no expectation of you whatsoever. Every politician sees it as a dream scenario where,
No, I'm saying, but if I'm her, there's no way I'm debating. I'm not giving out anything. I'm just, because she has a better chance of winning by not saying nothing. Because if she says anything, and if you really see how she feels and how her policies are, she's going to lose votes. You know what I mean? But if she just be quiet and don't say nothing, and go to these places where she can just pander to the crowd and there's no questions asked, man, she could get elected. That's the sad part. She could get elected without saying how she feels about anything.
That's a dream scenario, like I said before.
Yeah, I heard her say something, and nobody talks about it when it came to gun control, about almost getting rid of, carrying concealed weapons. And I was talking to someone, I was like, do you know that not carrying concealed weapons only affects people who follow the law? You know what I mean? It doesn't stop people who you're trying to stop. If you're saying that, all these people having guns and, they're killing people, they won't carry it anyway if you get rid of concealed carry. It doesn't matter. So that's what I'm saying. I think she has no vision on where she wants to go, because she wasn't supposed to be in this position. She's just there.
Interesting. Any other words on that, Rob? And
I think she has she's in a very unique opportunity, or a unique position. The Democrats are actually, because clearly, feel how you want to feel about Biden, and feel how you want to feel about polls, because I feel like some of those, can go out the window too. But there's momentum on the Democrat side, and if you look at the polls, they're about, you know, within a point of margins, whatever, about evenly split, right? So it's really going to come down to the independent voter or the people that are undecided.
Mm-hmm.
And if she can kind of pull this together in these last 90 days and really come with some good policies and some good talking points and not look crazy, laughing and cackling and all of that stuff and all of the things that the Republicans
Just
are
don't be
fond of.
yourself.
Yeah, just don't play into all of those things and actually come across presidentially and actually come through with a vision for America. You're not going to win over any of those diehard Republicans. That's just not going to happen. But if you can just swing some of those independents or some of those people that are on the fence, that's really all she needs.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Real quick, I think she needs more than that. So, and I'm gonna stop here. But this is what
Politically,
okay.
I agree with y'all. But on a non-political side, if she washing greens in a bathtub, she lost my vote.
Oh no.
Oh Lord. But listen to this, right?
Oh, hold on now. I saw that video where, do you think she was lying? Because she said that her collard greens are in high demand during Christmas, and she had to make so many greens one year that she had to clean them in the bathtub. Have you guys
Stop the cap.
I don't believe her. If she telling the truth, then she don't really know about the culture. Because ain't nobody talking about washing no greens in the bathtub. You know, could you imagine? You know,
Nah, you know, like, hold on, bro. So, like I said, hold on.
Maybe
Real
she was
quick,
talking about some cabbage
bro,
or some lettuce. I don't know, but it's not
What
no
are you?
greens
You're
in
not
the
doing
bathtub.
nothing. You're not doing nothing in the bathtub. But listen, so you know what I mean. So Corey, real quick, I want to say this. So when it comes to, I think she needs more than what you said for the votes, right? This is what she needs, and this is why I think Trump wins, right? And let's be honest, Blue Vix, I don't know if you agree with me on this, but that's what I'm gonna say. So we think about Trump, right? He went against Hillary, right? Hillary's extremely popular, you know what I mean? Bill's her husband, you know what I mean? And so we have a white woman and we have a white man. And the votes that Hillary needed to win, right, was really the white woman vote. You know what I mean? Because she got the black man. Well, she probably did have some black men then, but the black women vote. But the question is, do white women want a black, because she's saying she's black now, a black woman or a white man to lead? And that's the question. And obviously, they didn't want a white woman over the same white man. But now you're saying that they're going to pick
A black woman.
a black woman over a white man. And
Yeah,
I don't see it happening.
Let me tell you the reason why. The huge difference between that election and this one is the abortion issue. That wasn't on the table then, but that is completely upended now. And there are a lot of women, regardless of color, and whether they agree with abortion or not, they don't like the fact that the government is telling them what they can and what they cannot do with their bodies. So that's a huge factor.
How do you feel about that?
Me?
No, Corey.
About what specifically?
Yeah, abortion. About the abortion.
I don't necessarily agree with it. But I also don't believe that that the government should step in and tell a woman what she can and what she cannot do with her body.
You know, my thing is, why does my taxpayers' dollars have to pay for it?
Right.
There's that too.
Yes.
Why should I have to pay for something I don't believe in? And I will disagree with you guys a little bit, because I don't think it's much of a big issue anymore, because it's been pushed down from the federal side down to the state side.
Right.
So if you have a problem with the legal ramifications of deleting your child, you need to vote and change it for your particular state. It's not something that's federal. So I think that's going to make a lot of the debate null and void when it comes down to that. So that takes that off the table, how I see it personally.
Right, and from a man's perspective, but how does a woman see that?
Well,
But
women,
I think
if
hold
they
on,
want to
Punch.
see this policy
Mhm.
implemented for their particular states, they need to go out and vote for the liberal candidates that are going to bring it back for their states. Ohio, I think that they decided to have child deletions along with Virginia. I'm not. I don't know each state how they broke it down. Some other states like Tennessee are like, we're not going to do it. If I'm remembering correctly.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, people now have the ability to democratically choose whether they want to pay for or to support it legally. And I don't think that federally we should use our federal tax dollars to pay for anybody to do a procedure where 98% of the time it's a form of birth control and has nothing to do with the health of the mother, has nothing to do with rape or incest. And
Well, what's the
98% of the instances, it's being used as a form of birth control. And I think
what's
that's
the
horrible.
narrative though? The narrative, your argument is valid, but that's not the narrative that's being pushed. The narrative that's being pushed is the government is taking control over a woman's body.
Okay.
And from a woman's perspective, I'm not a woman.
I
I'm
agree
not a
with
woman,
you.
but I'm imagining women are looking at that narrative and they're saying, okay, this side is allowing me to have the choice whether I want to do it or not, and this side is taking it away from me. They're not drilling down into the specifics of what you just talked about.
And that's why we
And
have
Corey.
Megan Thee Stallion twerking at rallies, because people don't do research. And
Exactly.
they're not curious. They have no intellectual curiosity when it comes down to policy. When you don't have an intellectual curiosity for policy, then you don't know. You're just voting based off of how you feel and what somebody told you at the water cooler at work.
Right. And I think the unseen narrative is that, does a white woman want the black woman to be ahead of her? And the answer is no.
I think they'll take any woman at this. I think liberal women
Nah,
will take any woman, any woman.
Nah, I'm
But I
telling
think
you.
that more conservative women, they want to throw the whole baby out with the bathwater. They want a man,
No, but I'm saying, but if we still believe that, because this is one thing that Camilla said that I totally disagree with. She says that America isn't racist. You know what I mean? And that's false. You know what I mean? Because it's racism. Period. Whether you're white, whether you're black, all of us have some sort of racism when it comes to anything, right? And she believed that there's no racism, so she's already always off the path when it comes to that. And so what I'm saying is that there's white women who they might agree, what Corey said. Hey, a woman should have a right, you know what I mean, to choose whatever she wants to do. But in her mind, it's like, but do I want to put a black woman in charge?
They voted for a black
that lessens
president.
that. No,
It's
but I'm
happened
saying,
before.
I know, but it lessens the white woman. You know what I mean? You understand that a black man and a white man doesn't lessen a white woman, but a black woman and a white man does lessen the white woman.
I'm not
in,
sure about
in their
that.
eyes.
How about I have to think about that more deeply.
Think about it. I mean, why wouldn't Hillary get in?
Well, she got in because
Why didn't she get in?
conservative white women didn't want to vote for a woman, no matter how qualified she was.
Right. So now you're telling me that there's going to be more women that vote for Camilla than voted for Harris, than voted for there's more women period that's going to vote for Harris than voted for
Women are way more
Clinton.
liberal nowadays than they were during the time that they voted for Obama.
Than 8 years ago.
Yeah,
true.
things have
Not
changed.
Obama. Not Obama. We're talking about just 8 years ago. It wasn't Obama. We're talking about Hillary and Trump.
Well,
Yeah,
hold on. Let's remember that election, Hillary carried the popular vote.
He did, but I'm saying,
Right.
but the popular vote is never enough.
No, it's not. Right.
But it is.
Clearly, he won through the electoral college, but
I believe what happened with Hillary was Hillary didn't take the blueprint of the campaign that Obama did.
Exactly.
She didn't do that. If Kamala Harris, like the gentleman said, if she was to get his Obama's campaign manager and Obama's campaign team, she might have a good chance to turn a lot of votes over onto her side if she did that.
I think there may be some animosity behind the scenes with the former administration, President Obama and Kamala Harris. I don't think that they really support her, and I think they know behind the scenes that she may have some level of incompetence, or at a minimum, issues managing her staff. I mean, I think she had 90% turnover of her staff. I think the Obama machine that was kind of behind Biden, I think they realized that. And I think that she had the exact same problem during the presidential runoff with the Democrats. And I think that in addition to being kind of knocked off the shelf by Tulsi Gabbard, her staff was quitting left and right then too. So I think there is some kind of issue with how she manages her people, and I'm just assuming here, but I think that that's kind of available information for folks who are in the know. And I don't. There was no real run to endorse her. President Obama didn't run to the. He wasn't one of the first people endorsing her, and I think that's something to think about. So, but yeah, guys, we're kind of burning up some time here, so we're gonna kind of end it there. But any more last words? And if you're online and you're checking this conversation out, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to Cancel Kings on YouTube. We really appreciate that. We can't have these conversations without that support. But any more questions, comments, criticism, guys, because it doesn't seem like this conversation is valued. But I don't know why we're just focusing on shucking and jiving and not actually the real conversation.
Yeah, it's crunch time, right? The election's coming up in November, and obviously we have a huge decision to make, and voting for somebody just because they kind of look like you or kind of have some of the same values that you have is not enough. We need actual policy and actual vision and guidance and how it's going to better ourselves and our community. So just keep your eyes peeled and see what's out there and read through the nonsense.
Yeah. Anybody else? All right, gents, we really appreciate you hanging out with us. This has been Overtime with Cancel Kings. Like, share, and subscribe.